I've got to go and put my washing into the tumble dryer right now, so I'll be gone for like 30 seconds. There you go, have some of that.
I can't be the only one who feels like I'm going nowhere. Just wishing somehow this dream will carry me. And I'll swear just one last time. They say the world is yours, so I'ma make it mine. 'Cause nothing is stopping you. You could set the world on fire. Nothing is stopping you. And if I go out, I'll go out screaming. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. Cause nothing is stopping you. You could set the world on fire. Nothing is stopping you. And if I go out, I'll go out screaming. And if I go out, I'll go out
They vote Elite FPL.
And the gold award. This is the one. Elite FPL. Well done. Big shout outs to you, man.
Your past won't catch you now. Get out of here.
Jason, any more final thoughts?
No, just to say thank you everybody and for all the support again. And Steve-O, he's a bit mean, but he means well. And I'm not going to rise to the occasion. He can bash my team as much as he wants, but I don't care. It just makes me stronger. Makes me more keen to stay above him on the tables. And I guarantee, the end of this weekend, you're going to be looking up to me, Steve-O, thinking, what am I going to have to do? What I'm going to have to do to catch him?
Exactly. Cheers, Jason. Thank you so much. There was our co-host Jason there, bragging. I can't hear anything, mate.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, everybody that may be tuning in right now. This is not a mirage. This is not a dream. Yes, you are right. Steve-O and myself are together again on a live stream. And I hope you guys have been doing very, very well. We've not had a massive break from football. And I hope you guys are looking forward to the upcoming season. Steve-O, how are you, my friend?
Good evening, everybody. I'm doing a bit of an experiment there. I'm doing a Twitter live stream on my account as well, just for a bit of fun. But to celebrate the occasion, it's almost like Christmas, isn't it, Jason? And it's a bit weird. Normally I'm asleep by now, but Jace, I've got this. Remember this? The older.
Oh, you haven't. Santa Claus.
Santa Claus hat.
Where's your elf?
Christmas.
Where's your elf?
Well, he's upstairs, and I'm not going upstairs.
You need it.
I meant to celebrate the old vodka round.
Wow.
So the last time I wonder if Rob or Dan are going to be watching this on the Twitter, but I doubt it. Last time I drank was actually on their podcast that they invited me on. So I'm going to have a swig of vodka, Jace. Cheers, everybody, for joining us, and take it away, Jace. Let's have some fun tonight, shall we? Let's enjoy this moment. Let's enjoy it.
As you can see, my team is down there, and I haven't even made a team yet.
Fucking hell.
You right, Steve-O? You right, Steve-O? What's that?
Like I said, I don't normally drink, so that has just burnt my flaming throat. But carry on, mate. You haven't made a team.
Yeah. No, I haven't made a team. And I'm just going to throw it out there for the awesome people in the chat to kind of start helping me building my first team for the 2021-2022 season. It feels weird. It feels like we're way into the future. Why are we not flying around in hover cars, Steve-O? Why are we not having cybernetic implants and nano robots in our bloodstreams?
Because Elon Musk and Richard Branson and whoever the other
Jeff Bezos.
That's his name, yeah. Haven't invented these things yet, but they will do. They will do. But then they put in laws to stop you from using any of this. It's like with the scooters, isn't it?
100 likes and Jason must get Sancho.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Do you know? I forgot about all this. The thing with live stream is that you forget about the whole. If you do X amount of things that you've got to do, like I miss those moments, Jace. The whole get X amount of likes and you'll do whatever. And 100 likes and Jason will get in Sancho for a fake team, and then
and then reveal my real team on the final deadline stream. Yeah, that's it. I know what Jay's doing. He's showed me about 20,000 times on his streams, and then the final day deadline comes. What the fuck? He did what?
That's 50p there. You owe us.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's not normally me that swears, right? So I'm pretty sure you're in debt. So, but this season we spoke about it on the phone the other day, didn't we? We're just gonna stay true to ourselves, true to the channel, true to the audience. You guys that have stuck through from the beginning. A lot of you guys have been here since the beginning. Not a lot is gonna change in terms of the format, but the presentation will change in the sense of we'll still have the guests coming on. We'll still have the callers talking about their rivalries and how they're doing in their mini leagues. But the main change this season, Steve-O, is that me and you, we're getting the band together again.
Yeah. Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know, I was promoted at work, hence why I could. Oh wait, I normally wear this shirt anyway. But
That's
no,
what you normally wear. That's your work uniform you got on then, Steve.
Yeah. I was promoted at work, so basically, as if people are unaware, it's meant I'm a bit more flexible with time at night. So it would appear that myself and Jason can stream on Fridays and Saturdays, and I think we said Thursdays as well. No,
I'm flexible whenever. The great thing
Yeah.
is I'm flexible whenever. So Steve-O can say, Jay, we want to do a stream this Wednesday. I can do a stream Wednesday. And likewise, it could be the afternoons, could be the evenings. I'll get it in. And you guys will be, as soon as that's kind of like, what I think's going to happen is we were harping on about a schedule. Like the last 2 seasons, we were going, you know what? We're going to do a schedule, guys, because you guys, the one thing that I used to get messages about, like, we don't know when you're going live. And I completely understand it. And our excuses were that work. Well, now I've got more flexible time. Hopefully that's going to be something that lasts for quite a bit of time. I can move to Steve-O's schedule now. So we can get that Friday night stream nailed down, the timings nailed down, and the midweek stream nailed down. We're also going to get, which I think is important, we're going to see a proper TV schedule of fixtures this season, as opposed to being drip-fed game after game. Initially, it was fun. Initially, it was great. But it was a lot of football, and I got sick to death of it, to be honest. I got so burnt out with it all, and I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people got burnt out. And I'm looking forward to having the 3 o'clock games back. I'm looking forward to having the drama of finding out what's going on in games that you're not watching and you're hearing on the radio or you're seeing on live feeds. I'm very much looking forward to the rivalries and the dynamics that come with that, and I think it's going to be exciting for this season. We're going to be, like I said, true to what we do, and the core of Elite FPL is remaining the same. Just we're going to get both of our ugly mugs on the screen at the same time more often.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a quick shout out to who's this joining me? It's Particle Impact. He's saying that he's watching not only on his phone, me and you, he's watching me on Twitter. So, hello there.
Hey,
but,
it's like Inception, Twitterception.
Do your usual shout out to the guys that are in chat. We've missed that. Come on,
Absolutely. So we've got some awesome hardcore members in the chat. We've got Coolio 2foot's back. He's followed me around for years. That guy, how you doing, mate? We've got Podner there. We've got Salt and Sides. Podner, sorry, I'm not wearing the West Ham shirt, but the deal was only for last season. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm going to do with that West Ham shirt. Milan Milic, hello, Luna Darwin. We've got FPL Penguin in the chat. Hi there. The Cape FPL's there too. Matty 11. We've got Umer. Anurag's there in chat. Hey, Anurag, how you doing, buddy? Look, we've got the gold Elite FPL member badges flashing around in the chat there. Just the bling's coming out. Zain Hussein, Mark Byrne. Good evening. Ace Adventura, infamous FPL's there. Massive props to him and the hard work he's been putting in on the Discord Ultimate Game. We've got David Stahl there. We've got Firetog. We don't need to introduce him. And we've got Gravy Dave. Wow, these names. FPL Maestro. Mr. Anderson. Michael Asiashi. Denver. Is there also FPL Fozzie, Ramanathan, Scratch. Hi, Scratch. I don't think I've read your name out before. I do apologise if that's not the case. Flying Dutchman. We've got FPL Cheddar. We've got Toenail there. Kobe Miranda. Hello, Kobe. B Blair. We've got. Do you recognise these names? Semi Sweet Potato. Do you know who that is?
Yeah. I also recognise these names.
We've got. I'm scrolling. That was only from the intro, by the way. We've got plenty more people here now. Nuclear Atoms, Nigel Jeremiah. We've got Opurum, Buffy. We've got Alex the FPL Alex the Kid, Shano 83, Mark Antigua. Clickus is here. JC, welcome, JC. But yeah, guys, it's going to be a great season. Going back to what I like to think as a normality. I know that I'm going to just throw it out there now that there was some questions about what we were going to do this year about the mini league. So the Invitational League is not going to be running this season, and no Cash League is going to be running this season.
I've got to throw in the old WWE effects.
As per the official FPL rules, we are basically going to be doing it privately, reaching out to members of our community. And I have to emphasize, this is nothing to do with being a member or being on Discord. These are people that we are reaching out to through our relationships that we have bonded over the years with. And we are going to invite them personally into our mini league. And so don't go throwing us a £200 super chat to get an invite into the league. It ain't happening, all right? It's not going to happen. And that's how we're doing it. And that's how we're doing it, all right? So expect over the next few days to start to see invite codes being given out. Our moderators in the Discord will be helping us decide on members, because they are the bread and butter and the life soul of the Discord, and they know who have been contributing the most to the community. And I know a lot of you guys, the names that we see in the chat, we know who you are, so don't worry about it. But what I will say is, if you can get into Discord, it makes life a lot easier in terms of messaging those people. If not, it'll be Twitter. We'll use Twitter. All right. What about a £250 super chat? We got to play by the rules, my friends. 103. I've got 103 people watching, and we've only got 40 likes, Steve-O. What does that mean?
It means, hold on a minute, something I learned over the last few months.
Oh, yeah.
Smash that like button.
Smash it,
lads.
Be careful not to break your phone screen. Well, I did what you told me, mate. I smashed it.
Subscribe button.
Yeah. And on that note, if you do and are interested in the additional content that Steve-O and myself will be putting up in the members area, then you consider becoming a $1.99 or $4.99 member. Details can be found on the YouTube landing page for the membership. So again, Steve-O, you're going to be what are you going to be doing different for the members this year? Are you going to you've got any ideas, or are you just going to throw the rants out there and make it?
I think in all seriousness, I think that obviously this is a learning curve for both of us over the last, what is this? This is going to be coming up to our third year this year doing this. But I think it's really like the last 2 years we've been doing this properly. And certainly there's a lot of things that I've been learning about myself, about you, etc. And certainly what members like. And certainly I'll continue doing the bullshit conversations about anything really. Regarding what's happening in my life, but obviously a lot of it will be revolving around fantasy football and stuff. I think more importantly to me is what you've just mentioned is regarding the community members. What I enjoyed doing towards the end of last season, I know for a fact that the likes of Nick Treadwell, Peter Scully, and who else came in the top four, Jace? Genuinely in the invitational.
Oh,
Peter
mate.
Scully,
Nick Treadwell, Peter Scullion, Paulie won it.
And there was someone else who we've completely forgotten about. But either way, I really enjoyed kind of like
we take it really seriously, guys. It's like we've just had this. I have literally just switched off of football for the last 2 months. Like I've just been on hiatus, and I'll touch upon that in a minute. All right, I'm just literally massive changes have happened in my life personally, for the better. But I've had to put in a lot of work on other things. So, but I'll mention that shortly. But yeah, there's going to be plenty of content this year. In a YouTube that is saturated by FPL content. Don't worry, because we're going to be throwing out our corner of content also.
I think also that regarding the scheduling, I think what's important for us is the fact that, like you said, we're going to have a schedule which, within reason at this time, at this specific day, we will be live at this specific moment. And I think that's key to this. I know we were promising it a lot over the last 2 seasons, but the last 2 seasons in Premier League feels almost like it's been one season, because it just ended and then started and ended and started again. So it feels like only being one giant season over the last 2 years. But we've been promising about scheduling. Unfortunately, due to, like yourself, work life and everything,
we can't use that as an excuse any longer.
No, we can't.
Like,
No,
and we're going to change that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that moving forward, we're definitely, no matter what, going to be almost certainly doing every Friday evening, approximately this time, 6-7 o'clockish, which is great. And also, I'm pretty certain we'll be doing like a Wednesday evening as well together.
I'm fine Wednesdays and Fridays, and then I think that the live watch-alongs will continue, because I think, again, I want to make sure that we've got the community members coming on air to follow us through the games. So, like, if Dan's available to come on, the guys in Discord, Firetog, Paulie, Dread, even maybe Blonde, you never know. Might be able to get her on this season. But yeah, the awesome work and the discussions that are actually done in the Discord, just we want to make sure that we give the platform for those awesome discussions to be used on the channel, because some of the most entertaining rivalries are formed within the Discord community, and we want to kind of tap into that and get those rivalries going, and the mini league, because that me and Steve are going to be at each other as soon as the game goes. Like, we're all smiles now, but as soon as the game goes live, we're going to hate each other. Like, we are literally going to hate each other.
I'll tell you what, let's get the chat involved. Here's a question for everybody, right? A question now,
guys,
right?
You're going to do it again, eh?
What do you think is going to be the first rant in game week 1? What's going to be Steve or my first rant in game week 1? Bearing in mind we only know the fixtures, we don't know what my team is or anything like that. Everybody in chat, what do you think my first rant is potentially going to be? Is it going to be about the fact that, I don't know, for argument's sake, that I was banging on about bringing in Jimenez, I don't have him in my team, and then all of a sudden, bang, just like that, he gets 2 goals.
I got one.
Go for it.
Whoever you captain in game week 1 is going to have an amazing.
No. Yeah, go on.
No, your captain in game week 1 is going to have an incredible shot. It's going to hit the referee and go in, and the referee's going to blow his whistle and say, "Stop play. We need to restart." No, because let's get real. I mean, to be fair, one of the things that I am legitimately doing, and I kind of did it in like a tongue-in-cheek way yesterday on the video that I released regarding tonight's stream, but the team that I put up yesterday, the 3-4-3, is within reason pretty much what I'm going to go with. It's just go with 10 play and be happy with it. Like the whole Salah being I'm captaining no matter what. However, the thing that I have a feeling that the first major rant will be about Jimenez. I don't know why. There's just something, and I'm just repeating a lot of the things that I keep banging on about. But do you think that this season your game plan is changing compared to what you were doing last year? Like genuinely, because I remember last year asking you the same question.
Yeah, I know.
And you were like, yeah. I've got a whole different.
I like that from Paulie. Jason's going to get 10 plus points off his bench. Who's this here saying my captain will be sent off? FPL Maestro, your captain will get sent off. I mean, that would be Salah, so everybody will have that. Bruno scores 15 points, but you say he's not a must-have. Sixers, he's in my team, so it'd be more. It's Luke Anderson, Burnley conceding. They always concede, mate. They're not winning for the first 10 games. Hello, Mark Antigua. Hello, mate. Harbour Boys here. You're going to take out Greenwood. Yeah, I like this one. This is more like it, Vince. You're going to take out Greenwood, and he will score 2+ goals plus an assist, and you're going to go mental, yeah, after having Greenwood in my team for X amount of weeks, and Cavani does nothing. It'd be something like that. I agree with you, Jason. I agree with you, Vince. The reason why I said that is because Bruce just said Jason gets rank 1 game week rank, and you are top 6 million. I wouldn't be going mad about that. That's nothing to be mad about. That'd be actually genuinely very happy. Because wasn't it Sai last season got 16th
Yeah,
or 30th in game
he
week
got
one?
up to top 20, didn't he? But then he bottled it. Like
Yeah.
so it's just like it. Like the thing is, if that was to happen, like I literally would be like, yeah, well, it's game week one. Like it means absolutely, it's great, but it's not doing me any favors. I need to, I could still come, 4 millionth in the if I have a bad season from that spot. So yeah, I definitely feel that you've definitely got to keep your feet on the ground, and you've also got to block out the noise. There's so much noise, and it's going to get more noisy now. So you guys like on the Twitter and on the YouTube and the Discord, there's so much noise out there. You're going to ask questions. You're going to get different opinions from Tom, Dick, Harry. Everyone's going to have their own masterclass at FPL, and they're going to influence you on your decision making. But it's very key that you don't fall for the traps of letting other people make those decisions for you. There's going to be a lot of cookie cutter teams out there. It's not necessarily a bad thing straight off the bat. Use it to help build team value. Use your team value as a tool to build a better squad than your mini league rivals over the second half of the season, especially for the second wildcard. And just remember that I was 100 points behind Cy Bellamy, with like 9 game weeks left to play, and I managed to make that 100 points disappear. So it's never over, and I think that's one of the key things you need to take away is that so many people drop off, especially at Christmas time. They're like 80 points behind the leader or something, or 120 points behind the leader, and they give up and they say, you know what, FPL's not for me, or I'm giving up this season. Don't do that, because believe you me, things can change on a heartbeat in this game, and it's like the people that stick through it, patient, not every game week going to get 60, 70, 80 points. Like some game weeks you can get 25, 30 points. It's just the nature of the beast. But yeah, let me quickly talk to you about actually what I've been doing with myself. So now I've been doing a lot of work from home in terms of graphics, digital web media production. I've been in contact with a few companies, and I'm pleased to say I'm actually working for a company now over in the States to help their branding worldwide. I've had some very interesting projects over the last few weeks. I've been tasked with responsibilities of things which I am quite amazed by, to be honest, and it's allowed me to kind of hone in on my skills, to learn new things, and it's also allowed me to put in more time this season because it's a flexible sort of environment. It's going to allow me more time to put into Elite FPL. So the plan is to free that available time up and give you guys the results, essentially the results of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun this season. And just want to say quickly, hello. There's a lot of people from around the world. Around the world, we are live.
Oh yeah, international.
Nigel Jeremiah, all the way from Singapore. Singapore, Jace. He's all the way from Singapore. Great to hear.
I know what it feels like in Singapore right now. It's hot over there, right? This shed. Somebody asked in the chat earlier on. I can't remember who it was. How's the shed, Jay? The shed's great, but this is the first time I've tested it in 30-degree heat.
Yeah.
I'm losing weight right now.
It's not too bad up here. It's windy. I've got the window open. I saw Nuclear Atoms or somebody saying that I'm in a different room. I am. That's only because my housemate Steve is actually away. So I'm kind of taking advantage of the fact that I can actually move around and stuff. I know Llama and Brew, actually. Llama and Brew were talking about a new desk available, but unfortunately wouldn't fit in my room. So I'm going to be looking into investing into a new desk so I can actually put my legs underneath. And
do you know what you could do with a standing desk?
Yes. In the words of Dan, yes.
Because that way you wouldn't have to worry about a chair. Because for me, that room, a chair would be quite cumbersome. So you could actually have a standing desk, and a lot of people use it, and actually it's quite a healthy way of doing things.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think
Especially,
this is certainly moving forward with the amount of streaming that myself and you are going to be doing. It's going to be very, very interesting like I said, next season regarding the streams and whatnot. And I'm just excited, Jason. More interestingly, are we going to be doing your team tonight? Are you going to be looking?
Oh yeah. Let's go. Let's have a quick. Let's have a butchers, guys. Here with my team, as you can see, it's I think it's quite a balanced team. There's no one that really stands out to me at the moment. They all look very similar sort of players. But if you guys could, maybe help me through it. We'll start with goalkeepers. So this season, goalkeepers. I mean, Martinez last season was like the guy that I loved the most. Let's see what the chat say about goalkeepers. What about your thoughts of goalkeepers? Are you going cheap and cheerful, or are you going to go premium, or what?
I've gone with Watford, based on what I've read about the fact that.
Oh, is it because he does a blog?
No, is that Foster? No. It's got nothing to do with Foster.
You're Ben Foster.
He is technically there's no technically about it. He is actually in my team as the backup. But no, it's based on just simply the fact that Watford were excellent in the Championship. They've got defensively. I always find that with teams that are coming up with a really good defence, that normally it can kind of correlate to Premier League. Whereas with goal scoring, slightly different. I think that with the goal scoring side of things, it's a lot, obviously, staying in the office, it's a lot more difficult to score in the Premier League. But defensive wise, I remember when Burnley, when we first went up to the Premier League, actually, I'll take that back. Under Dyche, when we first moved up to the Premier League, I think we got something like 10 clean sheets. So I think there's a lot of value in the Watford goalkeeper batsman.
Sanchez. So what about Sanchez? Somebody said Sanchez in the chat.
Oh, the Brighton goalkeeper, yeah. Brighton, it's a great shout regarding... Sorry, the vodka has just hit me.
We're talking about goalkeepers, Steve.
I'm genuinely feeling absolutely smashed. Oh, my God. There's a clip, everyone. So, yeah, I think that with Brighton, it's one of those where we saw what happened last season, where when you were assuming they were going to keep clean sheets, they didn't. I'm kind of expecting kind of similar this season. I really do think that Watford could be that team where actually they do pretty well next season. Sanchez is a great shout, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'm just happy with the Watford. To be honest with you, there are great shouts, like you said, regarding Aston Villa goalkeeper and Martinez. I see Firetog said about Meslier. I think it's a great shout as well. But for me, Watford's fixtures are decent. 4.5 goalkeeper, guaranteed starts. I'm happily willing to bring him in.
Yeah, and we talk at fixtures. I mean, it's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it, for Martinez? Really, the first three you could argue yes, but we don't want to be swapping out our goalkeeper after game week 3. Chelsea, Everton, Man United, Tottenham, and then Arsenal in game week 9. West Ham's not an easy game week 10. I mean, there's a lot of tough fixtures there for Martinez, so I can definitely see why people might be going for the Watford or the Brighton goalkeeper.
You asked about what I've learned from last season. It's not really what I've learned from last season, but more specifically what I'm kind of learning is that we are allowed to transfer out players. And goalkeepers aside and defenders, but certainly from an attacking point of view. Well,
speaking to the converted, mate. What do I always do at the beginning of the season? I just do mini wildcards left, right, and centre. Minus 16, Jason. Talk to me.
Well, this is the thing. It's a classic example of we all go into game week 1 choosing players as if we're going to be having them for the whole of the season. This isn't Sky Fantasy Football. This is FPL. We can swap and change whether we like. I think for me, it's just a case of going to that game week 1 within reason. It was Dread FP. It was actually Dread when I did a members video on his specific team, which I really enjoyed. I really do. I mean that. There we are, Mr. Reed. I know you're watching. I do mean that. I think that my video on Dread FPL's team really highlighted why I enjoy playing FPL. And I think for me, I'm actually hoping that Dread FPL does very well because his plan is to really pick players with the fixtures. I really hope he does well with that game plan. It completely goes against template. He's literally picked the best players for the first opening 6 fixtures. The logic is sound. He said about the fact that we've got no data regarding players or anything, and good luck to the guy. I know he's a rival and everything, but if it does fail, you can easily swap and change and get in. Another thing that I was thinking about as well is like bandwagons. Get on them as quickly as possible. So, for argument's sake, I don't know, Sancho. I don't think he'll start game week 1, but let's just say Sancho
comes on, scores a goal. So,
yeah, get him in. Just almost, if you can get him in, just get him in straight away. I'd rather just
pretty much
that.
any of the popular picks that score goals in game week 1, get them in.
Yeah,
literally, if they score a goal, get an assist, they're gonna start. People will start transferring them in. That's how the people play the game in game week. Like a lot of the majority of the casuals, they just like, oh, he scored, let's get him in my team. Steve-O, do you want me to do the auto pick and see what it gives me?
I'm going to be straight with you. I'm feeling absolutely smashed at the moment. So you carry on doing that.
Well, you know what you need to do. You need to do another shot.
I'll have another shot. No problem.
There you go.
I'll be more than happy to. This will literally be my last one because I'm feeling as a karma baby said, I am a very cheap date. Yeah, I am. So I'll just do another.
And he also said
shot.
something about you celebrating St. Patrick's Day already.
Oh God. Yeah.
Lovely. I could taste it from here. Right, let's auto pick it, shall we? Oh, wow.
Normally
what a
auto picks are
team.
quite good.
What a team. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's giving me Pope and Lloris as my 2 goalkeepers. Don't think I'll be sticking with that.
Well, we've just bought what's his face? Wayne Hennessy. I'm
looking at a team and I'm actually like struggling to pick players that I would actually keep in my team.
Well, this is the thing with auto pick. It's a case of it normally gives you pretty decent players, and it's just a case of keep the ones that you like and then obviously get rid of the ones that you don't particularly like. Lloris and Pope, for crying out loud, get lost. I mean, terrible. Hello, Nick. Nick's here, Nick Treadwell.
Hey, Nick.
One of the rivals.
Always chooses guys in the blue shirts auto pick. All right.
So what's the rest of the team? Come on, Jace. So
I've got Nick Pope, Lloris. This is my team for game week 1, guys. I would like to hear your thoughts. Lloris and Pope, 2 great goalkeepers at a really, really reasonable price of 5.5 million each. Very decent 11 million invested there. Carl Walker, looking to have a resurgence of life after a disappointing Euros. Luka Digne, Zinchenko, Cresswell and Diaz as my back 5. We've got Maddison, Barnes, Lingard, Zaha and James.
Right.
Cavani, Lacazette and Werner up front. There you go.
Do any of these players actually start for their teams? I mean,
I literally don't have any inclination of keeping these players in my team. So I just confirm it and just forget about it until game week 1. Do you know what the thing is? You do that sort of thing, and then you'll end up getting a fluke 100 points.
Mr. Andon's coming up with I know it's a tongue-in-cheek comment about triple captain Lingard for game week 1, Jace, but honestly, I can see it in the stars now. Someone that is going to be number 1 in the world after game week 1. They will have used the triple captaincy. That's without fact. I truly believe that it will be on Tony. I don't know why. I just think that someone's going to triple captain Tony, and he's going to be number 1 in the world. And after scoring 2 goals versus Arsenal, I just envisage this happening. But someone's there. I mean, Mr. Reed last season, he was in charge of his wife's team, and she was again someone that was doing really, really well in the first 10 game weeks. She got really, really high. Her name's Nikki, and she got really, really high in the overall rankings because he was basically just triple captaining. He triple captained, I think it was Salah in game week 1, and then he used like bench boost, free hit, or whatever it was, and she was like, I can't remember now, top 100 in the first like 10 game weeks. So very very interesting strategy. I mean, have you ever thought about using the triple captaincy or a chip in game week 1?
No, mate, no. I think that Paulie kind of summed up a great strategy, and he left a lot of his chips to lay on. Have a nice slow and steady race and don't get too carried away. With transfers, don't take too many hits that you don't need to make, but don't be afraid of doing changes if you feel that the time has come. And I think that Paulie kind of hit the ball out of the park. He just came from out of nowhere, he made good use of his chips. And I certainly won't be looking to get a head start at the beginning. I mean, I've been very fortunate at the last few seasons that I've done very well from the beginning anyway, but I'm not expecting it. If I'm 8th place in the mini league at the end of game week 1, that's a very good position to be in. How about yourself, Steve-O?
Yeah, I'm just hoping that, like I say, the majority of my team is pretty much going to be what the majority of people are going to have. I'm not going to beat about the bush here. I am just hoping to, like we discussed on the phone the other day, I'm just hoping that me and you are in close contention within, like, I don't know, for argument's sake, 10, 20 points.
Should we just have the same team?
Let's just have the same team.
You let me know you're captain, mate. I'll let you know I'm captain.
Yeah, I think that essentially, as long as me and you over the first 3 or 4 months are within 10 or 20 points of each other.
Do you think there's going to be a psychological thing that if I am ahead of you game week 1 that you're not going to ever catch up?
It makes it more enjoyable for me rather than...
Really?
Because, I was... Obviously, I wasn't watching this recently, but about a year ago, I remember watching back some of the old ones that me, you and Dan used to do. I just found the discussion more interesting. I found it more like when you first joined me and Dan, I found it more interesting talking to you about your tactics and whatnot, because you were doing like, you were like in the top 100, whatever it bloody was. And I genuinely was like helping you along your journey. But because I've got, the thing is, it brings back memories when I go back home and I see my notepad and I'm like genuinely like, fucking hell. Like I was like 20 odd points off Jason, whatever it bloody was.
You were having a blinder of a season, but it will still be, yeah. And I'm I prefer those kind of conversations and you kind of getting annoyed and agitated and frustrated. Whereas me, I'm a bit more calmer and just kind of like enjoying. Wait, really?
The competition. I don't get me wrong.
Was this a dream? I don't remember you being calm, and I remember you going.
When me and you were to get when you were doing really really well 3 seasons ago now. I really enjoyed the calmness to our shows and everything, and the fact that we had this rivalry between us and we had a couple of others kind of like trying to nitpick at us, but they couldn't do it.
Stupid question, Steve-O. Do you think that's because of viewership numbers? Do you think that's because of the chat, the more people in the chat that are going to have their opinions? Because when we started off and we had like 7 people watching the stream, and generally it wasn't more of an opinionated chat. It was more of a like, hey guys, nice to see you streaming again sort of chat. Do you feel like now there's almost an expectancy by FPL experts, in inverted commas, that are out there on social media, that are out there on YouTube? Do you feel that there's a pressure to kind of conform to the template and not to deviate too far away from it?
Yes,
because I can tell you now, my strategy is I can give a shit. I'll play Jamie Vardy. If I think that he's going to do well, I'll play him.
Yeah, I really am hoping to be really, really strong and defiant with my opinion. And like I've said this for weeks, I really hope I go through with Man City at home to Norwich, bring in Kevin De Bruyne for Fernandes or Salah, whichever one, doesn't really matter, and captain him. That is what I've been saying for the past few videos that I've put on here. And I hope I go through with it. And if it fails, it fails. But the fact that Kane looks like he's set to join Man City, I think that makes Kevin De Bruyne an invaluable pick. He's a bit too expensive in my opinion. I think 12 million. I think that 11 would be great, but the fact that they've priced Sterling at 11, which I just can't get my head around. I think Sterling at 10 million. See what frustrates
it's because
me
of the Euros.
Yeah, Nick, aka Triggerlips, made a point on his Twitter feed about the fact that, you know, the game needs to start changing the rules, need to changing some of the chips, etc., and different things, because there's too much information out there which gives people a helping hand. And I find that certainly the fact that the game itself doesn't put us into a situation in which we have to ask ourselves a question: shall I get Mane at 11 million or shall I get Salah at 12.5? If that was the case. But what they've done is they've gone, Mane's 12, Salah's 12.5. Thanks. I'll get Salah then. Kevin De Bruyne at 12 million, or Sterling, who performed rubbish last season, at 11 million. Well, Kevin De Bruyne is a freak of nature. He's a world-class player. Sterling, hit or miss at 11. I think I'd rather spend the extra million on Kevin De Bruyne. If, however, Sterling is 10 and Kevin De Bruyne is 11.5, then we've got a bit of a discussion. And I know James on Planet FPL bangs on about this, but it's just a true fact. It's a case of, guys, we need some discussion points. And I know for a fact that Luke, aka Disable, from Fantasy Scout, he bangs on about the fact that at the end of the day, there are just a pool of 25 players that majority of us are all going to pick out of the hundreds that are available. There's got the one thing that's always frustrated me about FPL is that, yeah, as much as it advances regarding how popular it becomes, actually it's making the game more boring with how they're pricing up players. I think they seriously need to sit down.
Yeah, they're funneling everyone into certain players, aren't they, in combinations, and we're not seeing a great wealth of diversity. It's my hope that we, as the season kicks off, we start to see some gems coming out, which are going to throw people into decision making and crack open their teams. Like, I'm a massive fan of the wild card game week 4. I love an early wild card. I've always enjoyed that. And if I see some starlets coming out and I'm thinking, oh God, I need to get hold of this player because he's playing out of his skin, like Lamptey, for example, like players like him that are on the periphery of a lot of people's decisions, but if you watch them play, they almost like play their way into your FPL team. Like, so I want to see that, and I want to see people mixing their team out. I think for the first 4 weeks, yes, you're going to see template. But then as soon as that wildcard comes, I think we're going to start to see the real people that are looking to play the FPL, the game itself. And they're going to be the ones that benefit. Like you said about bandwagons, getting on those bandwagons early. By game week 4, you should have enough data and enough confidence in a player to bring them in.
Well, this is why I love Dreads. I know Dreads here. I love his strategy at the moment. I know FPL Penguin. I know you're here. Hello, mate. He made a point about bringing in Jimenez after, I think he said on Twitter, after game week 4, swapping whoever it was out for Jimenez. And I'm like, it's a great strategy. But will these people actually go through with it? It's all well and good, all of us, including you, including me, including the people that are watching this. It's all well and good discussing.
Well, to be fair, if you go back through all of my things I've said, I've actually done everything I've said I was going to do. I haven't actually, there's not been 1 minute where I've torn up my idea and said, no, actually, I'm going to play it safe. I'm not the sort of person that plays it safe, especially in the first half of the season. Like I've always said, the first half of the season is where you can make bold moves, you can take risks, you can take -16s, you can take -20s if you want. I'm not saying it's always going to pay off, but it's a more forgiving part. It's obviously a more forgiving at that time in the season to do that. You can make those lost points up. You can get onto those bandwagons. You can build up your team value. You can move your chips into the second half of the season. And take advantage of it, and I have actually seen good results by doing that. Not everything pays off. I mean, of course it doesn't. We're not time travelers. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. But I certainly am not one. I'm not the sort of person that sits there and goes, "Oh, you know what? I've been thinking all this week I was going to do a -12 and get in that player that scored the hat-trick and that other player that got the 2 assists. But you know what? I didn't do it because I thought I'm not the sort of person that sits there and wallows away in pity. I just get the job done. And I'll tell you what, if they blank or if one of them gets substituted in the 59th minute, I'm not going to sit and cry, because I decided to make a decision. And that's the way I play the game. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, my friend.
Absolutely, I completely agree. And I'm speaking all this nonsense, all this chat now. What I'm saying, I really just hope for me that I stick with my thought processes. And the one major issue I've got is looking at the chat and being swayed by other content creators, and not Twitter, but the content creators. Because as you know, I do enjoy certain channels, and I do think to myself, they've got a good idea. Certainly over the past couple of weeks, listening to certain channels when they've been bringing on their guests, etc., they certainly have made me think, look, Steve-O, just the first few game weeks, again, without bringing up Dread FPL constantly, but, just the first few game weeks, we've got no information. Stick with tried and tested players. Calm yourself down, and once you get
remember that time I said about Danny Ceballos, I was like, oh yeah guys, I'm going to get on Danny Ceballos. I had no idea what he was going to be like in the Premier League. I thought, I looked at some highlights of him playing in Real Madrid. I thought, you know what, he looks pretty good, and I think he might fit into that Arsenal team really well. Yeah, we all know that happened. And obviously people talking about Pepe. Oh, we need to get Pepe in straight away. He's going to be a sensation at Arsenal. I'm not just picking on Arsenal, by the way. It's just the 2 examples I use. But people do have this sensationalism. Jadon Sancho could be another one of those players that may take time to get up to speed. You just don't know. Like, I completely subscribe to what you're saying. Go with tried and tested players, and I do class the Championship as being a litmus test as well for those players in the Premier League, and for the price you're paying for them, it's worth the risk. Yeah,
certainly for me. Looking at players that are coming up from those promoted teams in Watford, Brentford and Norwich, the ones that have already played in the Premier League, specifically with Norwich and Watford, who did well when they first came up, and then they're still with the same team. They still perform well in the Championship, and now they're coming back in the Premier League. Well, for me, for people that are watching this, that have seen the odd video that I've put out there, Sarr is one of them. Buendia, admittedly, he's gone to Aston Villa. I'm kind of waiting on him because he's in a new team, potentially a new system. I know he did okay in a friendly. I think he scored 2 goals or something like that. Looked like he was doing really well. Or he got 2 assists. I can't remember now. Either way, he did very well in a friendly, supplying Ollie Watkins, who's in my team. But Buendia is someone certainly to look at. If he was at Norwich, I said this in a video. If he was at Norwich, I think he would be almost a must-have. However, unfortunately, Norwich's opening 6 fixtures, if not opening 10 fixtures, are atrocious, so I wouldn't have gone near him anyway. But he's certainly somebody that I want to monitor. I think the likes of, let's ask you now, Greenwood of Man United. What are your thoughts on Greenwood? Is he a starter? Is he just someone that's kind of like, he may be starting, he may not start? What are your thoughts on him?
I personally think he'll be used he'll be rotated through the league games and cup games. I don't. If you want to take a punt on him, go for it. But don't be surprised to see reduced minutes or sub appearances.
Friend of the show, Vish. Hello, Vish. He's saying Sancho 9.5 straight at my team. Talk to us about Sancho at United. Are you happy with that move?
Massively. With that move? Massively. And it's I think I kind of like United because at the moment, because a lot of people are still classing United as the underdogs and like no one's taking them that seriously. But honestly, count them out at your peril. That's some good. That's a good move. Bringing in Sancho and I think Cavani as well. He is a massive goal threat. And I think that there's going to be, what are the fixtures like again? Going into the first.
They are
perfect,
fantastic.
aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, Nuclear Atoms is saying about your thoughts on Cavani. Then we got Gary Howden saying Cavani was class for United.
Cavani is going to get, like, I'm going to say it now. Cavani's going to get more than 18 goals this season.
Is that across all competitions?
No, Premier League.
Premier League alone?
Yeah.
Bookmark that, everybody. Wow.
He's going to get 18 plus goals this season in the Premier League, Cavani. I'm telling you now. Like, he's an absolute natural goal scorer. He's a poacher. He is the perfect fit for Man United.
I think certainly across their opening 6 fixtures, so it's Leeds, Southampton, Wolves, Newcastle, West Ham, Aston Villa, Everton. I mean, I could see him scoring in every single one of those games, but, you know, as an average, 2-3 goals in those 6 games, Jace?
I'm just looking up now. 2-3 goals in those 6 games. I minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. You know. I'm very excited to see how Sancho fits into the dynamic. I think Solskjaer will ease him in. I don't expect him to necessarily start the first game against Leeds. I think a lot of people will be looking at Man United. And we talk about the game week 4 wildcard. I think United are going to be heavily, especially after those first 4 fixtures. I know the fixtures switch, but honestly, I think United, when they've got teams going at them, it creates more space. I think United have showed that they don't like to go against teams that will sit back and form a low block and restrict passing and movement. I think that United are much more potent on the counter-attack, on teams that are given space to freely pass around. And I think that, you know, once West Ham, there's going to be opportunities there. Aston Villa, Everton. These fixtures to me, they're showing red, but they're not red. They're not red to me, not at all. Leicester away, goals in that game, and then we've got game week 9, Liverpool. I mean, it's a long time before we start to get to the real tough games. Liverpool, Tottenham, Man City. Yeah, for me, Man United are a massive consideration starting off and at game week 4 wildcard for me. Yeah, definitely.
It's why for me, I've certainly. Again, without repeating it, it's nice. It's nice to. Are you still there, Jace?
Yeah, I don't know what's happened. Hang on, I'll try and fix it.
Well, I'll keep chatting. Hopefully, something will get. It's why for me, I've gone with players with good opening fixtures. I've actually tripled up, Jace, on Man United. I've got Wan-Bissaka, Fernandes, Cavani. Pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sorted with that. Ollie Watkins, I can't miss out on those beautiful opening 3 fixtures regarding. So they've got Watford, Newcastle, and Brentford. You can't mess about with that. Be interesting to see the 2 home. There we are. We're all back. We're all back live. We are live.
My camera's overheated, Steve-O.
This is what happens with the World Wrestling Federation. Anything can happen.
The camera overheated, literally 34 degrees in the shed.
That's disgusting. But certainly Brentford, Newcastle, Watford are great fixtures. But it'd be interesting to see how home fans, influence certain teams. Obviously, Aston Villa's home record last year, I believe, was pretty poor. Their away record was excellent. The likes of Man United, your home record. What do you reckon on the crowd affecting Old Trafford? Because your home record last season wasn't particularly great. So
I think that I'm saying I think we're going to see a different. I keep saying it every season, don't I? But I'm really happy with the fixtures. I'm really happy with the crowds being back, and I think that I think it's going to spur us on. I do. Again, I'm not going to load up with 3 Man United players in my team, but I'm certainly going to have at least 1.
Are you going to reveal that player, Fernandes?
I might have 2.
There's a lot of talk about Fernandes. Like I've seen a few comments about me mentioning the fact that Fernandes, towards the end of last season, he tailed off, didn't really return much. The reality is that that's true, but you can't write this player off. Once again, Fernandes, a world-class player. Was it Sporting Lisbon he played for? Did ever so well there. He comes to Man United, does exceptionally well for you lot. Tailed off last season. I personally put that down to fatigue. I think he was just really tired.
I mean, so much football, and he's one of those players you just don't want to leave him out your team, and he spurs the team on. He's a leader on the field. He's had a rest now. Not much of a rest, but I think that for me, there's players that play in the Premier League, and you just watch them play, and you think like look at De Bruyne, he kind of fills you with confidence every time he touches the ball. And for me, not having him in my fantasy football team is a worry. And even with Salah, not having him in your fantasy football team, you're always nervous, And I don't know, it's that psychological thing about when you've got players of that sort of class and that sort of ability, it's almost like pressures you into having them in your FPL team.
That's an interesting question. And before I get to that, not Vince, Dread saying, welcome back to all you viewers, 152 of you watching the World Wrestling Federation. Yes.
I saw that picture. Oh, can I get that picture up? I need to get that picture up.
Is that the legend? Is that Alex Volo?
Yes, Alex Volo, which we have to shout out, who was the genius behind not only this thumbnail, but also the awesome social media post that I saw Steve-O put out. Let me just find the picture. I'm going to put it up on the screen.
This is fantastic. No, for anybody who doesn't know, I've been doing my I got the WWE Network, so thanks to him. So essentially, once again, if you don't know, I'm a big wrestling mark. However, I fell out of love with it a while back, but it doesn't really matter. And I came across an individual on Twitter, UTT Rob. He then decided to do a podcast with his mate Dan Griffin. It's absolutely superb, covering essentially the Attitude Era. And I absolutely fell in love with it. And one of their friends, Mags, he's a very popular individual in the wrestling community. He then did a podcast, which was the start of the Attitude Era, which they agreed started at King of the Ring 1996. And essentially, I said to myself, well, if they're starting their podcast looking back through every single episode of Raw and every pay-per-view from 1996, I want to watch along with them. So I'm willing to pay £10 a month for the WWE Network. Since doing that, I've made a few friends through the wrestling community, and UTT Rob and Dan offered me a guest spot on one of their episodes. Absolutely, we spoke, Jace, for 4.5 hours. We started at 8 o'clock. Was it 7 or 8 o'clock? I think it was 7 o'clock. We finished at about 11:30 through Skype. So the podcast itself will be released sometime in August. We covered, funnily enough, a WCW Nitro episode, which was it was atrocious. Spoiler alert, I think I gave it 1 or 2 out of 10. It was so bad. I couldn't stand watching it. But the irony is, of course, is that I thought they wanted me to watch the WWE Raw that was live at the time. And I watched that first, which is like 2 hours. And even that episode was pretty poor. But yeah, it was fantastic watching it's been fantastic watching this specific era.
Yeah.
Some of the episodes are terrible, but the point being is that I've been doing a lot of Vince McMahon impressions and lots of various other impressions. But the point being is that, as Jason's probably put up on screen, Alex Volo. Really? It was a bit later than that, wasn't it, Cape? Go on, Cape. It was later than that. I thought that was like about 2003. No, I thought that was 2005, 2006. See, this is what you get with live streaming, Jace. We don't just talk about fantasy football. But but yeah, so expect a lot of
I need to put it on your
chat.
face.
Expect a lot of wrestling chat over this specific season. I'm up to we're moving up to Royal Rumble 1997, so the big I wonder if anybody could guess, actually. Hello, Latic Man. Hello, mate. Here's a question for chat. Who is my favourite wrestler at the moment? I'll ask you, Jace, as well. Who's my favourite wrestler at the moment in the 1996 era? Late 1996.
Oh, 1996.
Late, yeah, the very late, yeah. Podner, very good. Cheers, pal.
Oh man, was I even watching wrestling in 19? I don't think I was watching wrestling in 1996. I think I started watching it in 1999.
FPL Cheddar saying Undertaker, no. Harry Dawson, Bret the Hitman Hart, no. Gary Howden, The Rock was actually Rocky Maivia. So I'm afraid
what about Heartbreak Kid?
He was fantastic performer, but no, he's not my favourite. Gravy Dave, Sonny was fantastic.
The sock.
Mankind.
Mick Foley.
No, I couldn't stand him.
No. Scotty
Awful.
Tuati.
No, that was 2000. That's 2000.
Oh, was it? Oh, right, okay.
No one will get it. I'll give you a clue. Damn. That's a terrible impression. Damn. Come on. Damn. Who's going to get it in chat first?
Ken Shamrock?
Hey!
That wasn't me. That was Dazid. Dazid316.
No. Brendan Saunders. Podner. Nick Treadwell.
Oh,
Podner.
Farouk.
Oh,
I don't know Farouk. I don't know him.
He was brilliant back then. He started off with Farouk Assar, and then, as Gary Howden is saying, he then moved on to become Farouk of Nation of Domination. I just genuinely, because
what happened to him? Because he just cleared off. Because he wasn't there when I was watching it.
So he essentially went from Nation of Domination, then he did his own little thing, then he became the APA with Bradshaw, and then I think he just retired. And
okay.
Yeah, he only recently became I believe he only recently went into the Hall
Ron
of Fame.
Simmons, right.
Yeah, he was legitimately a jacked up freak. He was he was gold.
Yeah, I see pictures brilliant. Of him now. Yeah.
He is brilliant. But
you know what? No, I do remember the APA.
Oh,
yeah, I do. Yes.
Just fighting in pubs, the funniest thing you'll ever see. I can't wait to get to
They were doing tag team. They were in tag team, weren't they?
Yes, they were part of the Brood for the Undertaker. And
yes.
Yeah. Then they just became the separate entities with the
They
APA
are
and then,
big units.
Oh, yeah. Farouk is jacked. He's jacked.
Yeah.
But in the words of Gabriel De Robin, what's this got to do with fantasy football? Nothing. Welcome to Elite FPL.
Yeah. If you think you're coming here for instant tips and advice of your own fantasy football team, clear off, mate.
No, but in all seriousness, going back to FPL, are there any teams that you think people are potentially sleeping on? I'll give you a couple of names. Chelsea, for argument's sake, the way they performed last season.
Yeah, I was very disappointed in Chelsea last season. I feel that they massively underperformed. Notably, that was all blamed on one player, Werner. I think that again they have got winners in that team, a team of winners. If he can get all those players like humming and like what's the word, like nice and smooth, like working together, playing together as a team, then they're going to be. I think they're going to be title contenders, mate. I really, really do. Like that team it's an insane team. It's a great team. I don't think anyone that would argue that. I mean, look at the team. Look at the players they've got to choose from. The bench would be getting into most like the bottom half teams. So
I don't know if Danny, a good friend of mine from Twitter. I met him through Twitter because he used to put up a lot of the Bill clips, like really funny Bill clips, like out of context. And he said that he's a sub fucking scribe. So there we are, Danny Scottish Juggalo. Hello there.
What do you think Brentford's going to do?
I think they'll be found out. I think they're going to give it a go. I think they may do what Huddersfield did in their season when they came up. I think that
burn out over the second half of the season, just burn out, fade away.
Yeah. I think that absolutely. I think that the first 10 game weeks. Let's have a quick look at who their first 10 game weeks are, just for argument's sake here. So we got Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Brighton, Wolves, and then we've got a bit of a sticky patch here with Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea, Leicester. Then it's Burnley, the 10th game week. I can see them giving it a go and coming out with at least 2 or 3 wins and a couple of draws, perhaps. Maybe even a few upsets like West Ham. I could potentially see a draw there. Leicester at home, hit them on the counter and everything. I don't see why not. Wolves away, Brighton at home of Albion, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. They're all pretty good matches to be having to get some points. And I think that their manager, who, I apologise, I don't know his name, I think he'll be targeting, look, guys, we've got to get the points on the board in the first 10 to 15 game weeks. Give ourselves a fighting chance.
Breathing
room.
Yeah.
I think Norwich, aka FPL Penguins team, if you don't understand that joke, essentially when Norwich were in the Premier League, I picked up the fact that Daniel Farker looked exactly like FPL Penguin. But anyhow, I think that Norwich may come up a bit too defensively. I think that they'll have learnt from their mistakes in the first season, but I just think they're going to I think Norwich will do a Fulham, actually. I think Norwich are going to be one of these teams where they're going to be overcautious, and I think they're going to struggle really, really badly. But Brentford, on the other hand, a new entity, I think they're going to give it a go. I think they could have a lot of fun.
Steve-O, is it Man City's title to lose?
No, I'm glad that Harry Kane's pretty much joining. I'm really happy with that. I think it's bloody brilliant. Because of that, I'm now kind of leaning towards potentially Man City now winning it.
They are still probably for me a tier above other.
I think for me, Chelsea, we're going to do our prediction. I'm assuming we'll do a prediction stream at some point, but I certainly think that for me, I'm still going to be tipping Chelsea to win it. I'm just going to say it now. I think Chelsea are going to win the Premier League. Just the momentum. I think Werner.
I think they'll come second. Liverpool third.
It's going to be between them, City, and who was the Man United. I think the three of you are going to be really fighting.
Do you think Liverpool are going to struggle to make top 4 then?
Yep. I think
really?
The problem with I do, because they just played the same system every single week. It's just the fact they've got top class players that will get them through it. The likes of Salah, Mane, Firmino, Jota. Those front 4 are absurd. Their defence is, let's get real here, is very, very good, despite what happened last season. Am I right in saying Henderson has left? Is that right? Is he actually left Liverpool? Well, the fact that he's left, we all know his effect on the team itself. Whenever he was injured, Liverpool never seemed to win. They need to do something about that psychological issue. It's a bit like when Grealish plays for Aston Villa. When he plays for them, they get like something like 50% of the games that they play with Jack Grealish, they either win or draw. However, when he's not playing,
I don't know if it's confirmed. Actually, I don't know if it has been literally confirmed, but I'm trying to find out if there is actual 3 hours ago. No, he's not left yet. But it doesn't bode well, does it? When you've got that sort of news looming over a club.
Yeah, no weak foot is saying he hasn't left. He has 2 years left on his contract. Okay, I think it's wise for Jurgen Klopp to keep players like this with the experience. I just think that for me, Liverpool, there we are. You see, agree with Steve-O. Thanks, Mark. Teams worked out how to play against Liverpool. It's just the same system. It's either a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-4. It's not particularly. It's why Liverpool. It's why Leeds did so well in the last half of the season.
Use the fullbacks.
Precisely, yeah. Bielsa just set up defensively, and they were just winning games like by the odd goal here or there. It's a question for you. Harry Dawson's saying that it's not Harry Dawson. Who am I on about here? Sorry, the chat's going so quickly here.
I think Harry Dawson said Liverpool. I think Harry Dawson did make a point. They haven't strengthened that much, and when it comes to Salah, Mane, if they lose one of those two players, that is a massive dent to their like forward, attacking option. So, what were you going to say? Sorry.
No, Gravy Dave asking you specifically the question: if Chelsea get Haaland, is he in your team?
Yes.
Talk to us, because you were very big on Werner and he failed to deceive. I'm expecting Werner to do very well next year. But
I think that Werner has been a classic that he hasn't hit the ground running. It might be second season syndrome that might just kick in, and he's had a season of experience playing with that team. He's been to the clubs and involved in the in a entire Premier League season now. He was heavily criticised again in the Euros, and I think that he has got a lot to prove, but I think there's just too much quality in that team for him not to get on the score sheet. And if Haaland goes to Chelsea, I'm getting him in. I'm getting him in. I want him in my team. I'd love to see Haaland in the Premier League. At Chelsea, I just think it'd be disgusting, but I'll get him in.
John, hello, John. I saw he said something on Twitter early on. I said to him, I can't look forward to hearing him on the Discord. But if Kane does,
I will caveat very, very quickly because I don't want to stop your train of thought too much. But Tobias said that Werner still had a decent season. I think that it's all about end product. When you're a striker and you're playing for a club like Chelsea, who have spent that much amount of money on players, the eyes are on the strikers. The people that are getting in the chances and getting the runs into the box. They expect you to convert a decent percentage of your chances that you're given. And unfortunately, he was not converting the chances, and that's where people judge. In terms of making the moves, in terms of the pace, in terms of everything else in his football game, even his touch, I would say his touch has been very good. I think it's just his finishing, literally just his finishing. If he can polish his finishing this season, then God knows how many goals he could score. He's got it in the bag. He's proved it in Germany. He can do it. It's just if he can do that for Chelsea, then yeah.
Absolutely. Hello, Jack Benzie.
Sorry, Steve-O, you were about to say something.
No, it's all right. Hello, Jack. And John Harris. So if Kane does move to City, it's done, John. It's pretty much done. How many out of the 38 game weeks does he get the FPL captaincy armband? Do you know what, Jason? As much as Kane is a genuine top-class, world-class striker, I'm not interested in bringing him in my team. I mean, I put a jokey tweet out earlier on at Total Stever. But I put out a jokey tweet earlier just saying I see that Sancho is 9.5 and Kane is 12.5. I'm still not getting them. Kane, for me, I just don't think it's worth the money at 12.5. Unless he literally hit the ground running. So, I know James on Planet FPL is banging on, and it is true about the fact that he ain't going to be playing game week 1. But game week 2, Man City, up against Norwich, Harry Kane, fantastic captaincy pick. Will I still go Kevin De Bruyne? Who knows? Man City at home to Arsenal. We all know how Kane loves playing Arsenal. We all know how Man City love playing Arsenal. You've then got Leicester at home to Man City. Again, a team which there seems to be goals galore in those particular fixtures. We all know Kane's record against Leicester. Man City against Southampton. I mean, you're right, John. There's a lot of options for Kane to be captain every single game week, but I just think that, I don't know, I think that with the likes of Fernandes, Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, dare I even say Jota, there's players like Havertz who did so well for Chelsea last year, specifically the end of the year. I think there could be a bit more of a differential captaincy throughout the season, differential captaincy choices throughout the season. But certainly looking at that, Harry Kane.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Pulisic.
Such a shame with
because you were singing his praises quite often last season, weren't you? You were saying
he is, whether people are aware or not, I had the opportunity to actually watch Premier League football for the first time ever. in my own comfort of my own home. I will be doing it this year. I'll be more than happy to pay the price for Now TV. And once you get to watch these players, you realise how good these are. And I generally do think that if Pulisic had an end product, legitimately, I think he would be one of the best players on the planet. The problem is that he cannot hit a barn door, unfortunately.
So harsh,
he can take on as many players as he wants. However, once it comes to that end product, very frustrating. Skies it. Again,
only when you've got him in your team.
Only when I've got him, yeah. I remember 2 seasons
it's
ago.
The pressure. It's the pressure that he knows he's under, knowing that you've got him in your team. Anyway.
I remember 2 seasons ago, wasn't it? Pulisic was captained by Cy Bellamy against Burnley, and I was covering the game, and Pulisic, I believe, got a hat-trick. I think it was against us, or he certainly scored 2 goals minimum. I just couldn't believe it. I was absolutely gutted. I think the game ended 4-2, maybe 4-3 to Chelsea. I know Cy captained Pulisic. I was.
Oh yes, I do remember it now. Yes.
Yeah, I was covering the game, and do you know that's another slight tangent.
Cy had a massive run of good luck in the first half of the season. It was ridiculous. Like, everything was going his own way, and he got way too cocky. And I think this is another thing about FPL, that like the psychology. Everyone harps on about the psychology of when things aren't going right for you. You kind of you can get very frustrated and angry at yourself for not making decisions that you were probably never going to make anyway. But also the psychology of things when they are going your way, and almost how arrogant you can become and how cocky you can become. Cy, you were an epitome of that, my friend. It was almost like the fuel I needed to catch you up. I don't know if he's actually watching, but if you are, Cy, I love you, man.
FPL Maestro is saying Traore has no end product too. Yep, Traore, another player, just incredible to watch, but unfortunately he just can't hit a barn door. Champ Benzi with an interesting question here. Thoughts on a Chelsea player for game week 1 and then switch to a City midfielder in game week 2? Problem is, Jack, is that a lot of the Chelsea options, they're not particularly highly priced. I think the most is actually Havertz. If I just quickly look here, the most expensive Chelsea midfielder is Havertz at 8.5.
You know what? So if Chelsea start really well, those prices are just like, the stuff the dreams are made of, me.
When you look at the Chilwell is someone to look at. I mean, look at those fixtures.
Chilwell definitely.
Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Tottenham, Man City, and then game week 7 onwards, Southampton, Brentford, Norwich, Newcastle, Burnley. Those 6 games, 5-6 games, Southampton, Brentford,
it's
Norwich,
ridiculous.
Newcastle, Burnley. From a defensive asset point of view, Chilwell, 6 million. The likes of Rudiger, your player of the Rudiger, 5.5.
It was actually thanks to Vince that I got Rudiger in my team. I have to credit Vince for that.
There's a lot of actually talking of players defensive wise. A lot of talk about Everton, Rafa Benitez coming in. Everton interest you at all? I think Digne at 5.5 is so.
I've always liked. I do admire Calvert-Lewin, his work rate, his strength, his aerial ability. I do like Calvert-Lewin. Digne as well as option. He's in my draft at the moment, actually on the screen.
Latic Man asking the question, may as well aim it at you. I think you've already answered it, but who will start up top at Man United? Yeah, Cavani, Latic.
You don't need to be an expert at football to know that. I mean, like he's not too old. He's not past it. He's raring to go, and he's going to be banging in 18 plus goals.
Do you remember Latic Man?
Oh my god!
For the first time?
Dude, I am so hungry right now. Someone's having a barbecue in one of the
nothing better than the garden. Smell of the barbecue.
I had to open up the door, right? I had to open it because it's literally sweltering in here. Okay, absolutely sweltering. I opened up the door and I'm just like getting wafted in barbecue. I'm like, oh my god.
Nothing
we have to go, guys. Catch you later.
smell of burgers and sausages on the old.
Tormenting. I haven't had my tea yet either.
John Harris, would love to hear your opinions on who you think will be the bargain FPL player for next season. Christ almighty, John. Bargain player of next season, or this season approaching. Bargain player. I mean, when I hear bargain player, I think like the 7.5 range, something like that. Jimenez. Legitimately Jimenez. I know I keep banging on about it, but seeing what this Bruno Lager did for Benfica last year, the fact that Wolves have kept this, give or take, the same team from last year, the year before that, if he can get his claws into Wolves this season, I honestly think that Jimenez at 7.5 could be gold. And if you remember 2 seasons ago, when Jimenez, I think it was 7.5, maybe it was the year before, when, in fact, let's just have a quick look at when Jimenez did that ridiculous season when he started.
Whilst you're thinking about that, once you're looking at that, me, you, and Dan, top 3. Who's going to come the highest out of us 3? And end of season prediction.
Let's state the obvious. You over the last 2 seasons have had the history. You've dominated, easily dominated me. I mean, is it coincidence that I've done crap over the last 2 seasons since becoming essentially full-time on here? Possibly.
You've got to back yourself, man. You've got to back yourself. I mean,
Dan, it's really between me and Dan. He came ahead of me last year, is that right?
Yeah,
he beat me last year. But that's because of my such terrible start to the season. I nearly caught him up, but then he just went on some freak run. But I am gonna back myself. I think I'll come ahead of Dan. I think this year's gonna be a lot different.
How important is it to start off well in FPL?
Very well. It's not the highest thing on the agenda, but I think certainly for me, I really
psychologically, is it more of a psychological thing starting off well?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because
but if I come in, if I start off in the 6 digits, shall we say? Let's just say the top 500,000. I'd be pretty happy with that to start, because last season I think I started like the top 4 million or whatever nonsense it was, and it just went downhill from there. I don't think I ever got out of the top 4 million for about 10 games or so. I don't know. I can't remember now. I'm making it up, but I certainly had a terrible start to last season. Trying to be too clever.
Coolio 2 Feet says, I think this season will be Steve-O's. Jace will get too aggressive and fall off. Dan will just be hanging around, but won't display Steve-O.
It'll be interesting, without getting too dark, but just a quick one before I just talk of Jimenez. The 2019-2020 season, he got 17 goals and 7 assists, and I believe he was about 7.58 million, and everybody thought he was too cheap. And then last season, of course, 2020-2021, he obviously got injured, and then but he got 4 goals and 1 assist. I really do think that Jimenez could be John bargain of the season. But yeah, without getting too serious, but it's true, I'm going to be fascinated to see how our real life affects our playing style. Obviously, with yourself being self-employed, me in my new job role, and Dan being self-employed and in a different city or town, whatever Bournemouth is.
Different environment,
Yeah, different environment, yeah. I wonder how that will affect the 3 of us. Like, I don't know this, but for all I know, you could be on a genuinely very serious project, because at the end of the day, that's your life. Your job now is everything. Some company could come in and go, Jace, mate, we're going to offer you X amount of tens of thousands of dollars. But on this specific date, let's just say for argument's sake, it's a game week 1 deadline day. You've just left your team as an auto pick. You've got so much pressure on your head because this American company or an Australian company has offered you tens of thousands of dollars to create something. You've completely forgotten, and you end up with, let's just say for argument's sake, this auto pick team.
Oh, hang on, we've got a super chat here, $5 from Coolio 2 Foot saying, "Don't let me down, Steve."
You can't put pressure on me like that. Coolio too, Fitz. You can't be putting pressure on me like that, pal.
Thank you so much, dude. That's much appreciated. That's our first super chat of 2021, 2022.
Yes, congratulations. But no, I think that certainly, specifically in your situation and Dan's, because you are self-employed, it does make it different, because there are more, because the business side of things is crucial to you.
Yeah. I certainly when I first started when it was early days in Elite FPL, I used to be very stressed about what I was going to do with the deadline was coming, and I'd be very stressed about not owning players that were rising in value. I used to be very stressed about not owning players that people were talking about en masse in social media channels and in Discord and in Fantasy Football Scout and all these places. I used to be stressed when I saw you were captaining a player that I didn't have. I used to be stressed when
still backfired.
I used to be stressed when my decision making was not paying off. Didn't happen that often, but yeah. But now I don't know if it's because we're still not there yet. But coming off the back of last season, I don't feel any emotion. Like, I genuinely don't feel any emotion towards the game at the moment. I'm excited more from the channel point of view. I'm excited more for the rivalry. But at the moment, I don't have any emotion attached to the game right at this moment in time. Now, when we get closer to the deadline, that it may change. But I do feel like I'm approaching things slightly more matter of fact. It is what it is. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. And last season, at the end of it, it was quite refreshing to play the game like that. Now, of course, if I do start very well, I'm in the top 10,000 or something in the first few weeks, then yeah, maybe that might change. But I'm not going to go in with great expectations. I'm certainly going to play the game how I want to play it. And I'm going to listen to my own gut feeling, like I always have, and not about what's been said in the chat. Chat, I love you guys. You guys are great and everything like that. But I'm not going to make you make my mind up for me. I'll take your opinions on board. Of course I will. And I certainly think that's why you guys are here, because you want to hear opinions, right? You want to hear what other people's opinions are, and then use that to balance off what you already know. So you guys are gonna indirectly influence me, but certainly not in the shape or form of, guys, help me out. I need to know what midfielders to bring in right now. I've got 7.5 million. I've got a mini league riding on it, guys. You need to give me the right answer right now. No.
Fantasy World Order. Hello, pal. As an Aussie, it's hard to watch games. Can you still finish top ranks without live eye tests? Simple answer, yes. Jace?
If you are looking at raw data, you can, yes. If you're just potluck, just picking random players every week, or captaining, if you've got a basis behind what's forming your opinion, yes. But if you're like, your luck's only going to go for so long. But yeah, the answer to your question is yes, you can. But I'd caveat that you substitute one method of information, which is the eye test, for another method of information, which is the XG and the heat maps and word on the street. Like, if you're going in blind, there's only a certain amount of time before you're gonna get burnt. There is an element of work that you need to put in to FPL to achieve a good rank. I don't care what anyone says. There is luck involved, but there is definitely effort that goes into it. And the people, there's no coincidence that people that do well on a regular basis over seasons, they put work into achieving those ranks. It's not something which is just pulled out of our magic hat. If that makes sense.
Lasich man, Steve, please can you keep me hanging about what were you going to say about myself? The first show, essentially, it was just when I first heard your voice in the ring. Hello, Jason. How's it going, mate? That's it. That's all it bloody was. But there was something I was going to say to you then, Jason. I've completely forgotten what I was going to say. What I will say regarding Fantasy World Order's question is that I think if you've got a basic, I say basic, if you've got a knowledge of football which kind of correlates with respectable journalists and respectable websites, and you kind of like are picking players which are scoring points. I mean, I'm stating the blinking obvious, but it's just the truth. Like, you would be mad to go Mane over Salah in game week 1, for argument's sake. If you were to choose Mane over Salah, and Mane was the one that scored 2 goals versus Norwich and Salah did nothing, you would be a very, 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 very small minority of players that went Mane over Salah, and well done to you. I would then get you on the show and ask, how the hell did you pull that out of the bag and choose Mane over Salah? But if you're picking the players which, within reason, are template, then you're going to do all right. And then it's just a case of like your basic knowledge regarding football and reading certain websites. And I mean, unfortunately, the websites turn rubbish now. It's more about clickbait titles and everything. But Football 365 for me was an excellent website for information. But I now think that the likes of, I know Dread FPL offered me a year subscription or whatever it was now to The Athletic. Unfortunately for me now, I don't have time to read. I've got time to listen, but I haven't got time to read. And I think certainly subscribing to the likes of The Athletic is probably, if you've got the time to read, worth the money. I've been, funny enough, Jace, I've been listening to friend of the show, Ben Dinnery's latest podcast he's done called Premier Injuries. And he's been doing a series covering each Premier League team. And essentially he's talking to journalists of the respective clubs. And it's just gold. It's just absolute gold dust listening to these experts talking about these specific teams. And it gives you insights into how they feel they perform. Like, for argument's sake, Newcastle. I apologise, but an individual on the YouTube comments mentioned about the fact they've got Callum Wilson in the team, and I said, look, at the end of the day, he's their only goal scorer. He's a very good striker, but it's Newcastle.
Yeah.
And the journalist that covers Newcastle essentially just said, look, we are awful, and we were very, very, very lucky towards the end of last season to get the results that we did. We've got no Joe Willock.
They going down this year?
This journalist, I mean, this is the point. I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah,
but certainly the journalist thinks that they're going to struggle.
Right.
So this specific journalist thinks that they've got a problem. They need to replace Joe Willock. They've got nobody. He basically just said Almiron isn't good enough. So it's really going to come down to... It's not
Premier League quality.
No, it's going to come down to St. Maximin and Callum Wilson. And the reality is that based on what this journalist said, Newcastle are going to really struggle next year. I personally think that Newcastle, obviously, but Burnley, Brentford, Norwich, Crystal Palace are gone. They are out the door. They're finished.
Hello parachute payments.
Yeah, precisely. They're gone this year. That appointment of Patrick Vieira is questionable.
Well, you never know, but it's not looking. On the face of it, it's you would put them in danger of going down. Yes. Yeah. Somebody did ask me if I would be setting my team up. Not tonight. I'm actually going to do a. I'm going to do some. I haven't actually looked properly. Been so busy. So what I'll do is I'll write down some drafts, and then when me and Steve are back together again for the next stream, we'll go through my team, and I'll get a live reaction from Steve-O and from you guys as to my initial first draft. Because I can tell you now, this auto pick is absolute dog meat. I'm not going to be going
there. Quarry, hello. Don't recognise the name, but he's just immediately said, but Burnley are not going down. Well, I hope we don't go down. But what I can tell you for free is essentially the fact that the opening 10 game weeks, we are not going to win a single game whatsoever. So Brighton, Liverpool, Leeds, Everton, Arsenal, Leicester,
You
Norwich.
always play Burnley down, man. Always. Like,
First
typical
10, well, it's a pattern that forms with Burnley, apart from the anomaly that was the 2017-18 season or 2018-19 season when we got into the Europa League. Apart from that one, every season is exactly the same. First 10 game weeks, we basically don't win a single game. We get the odd draw. Then the following 10, 15 game weeks, we tighten up ship. Everybody keeps going on about Burnley defenders. That's when they want to jump. That's when you want to jump on, and we'll get the odd win here or there. And essentially, we won't lose. And then the last 10 game weeks, it's just gun ho, do whatever we want to do, and we get the odd win here or there to just about stay up. And we're going to end up about again 7th, 16th, 17th once again. But there are certainly more teams this season which are going to be in that relegation battle, I think.
The thing is with Burnley, for me, like, I don't know what it is, but it seems like they have, and you could probably chime in on this, when they want to attack, they can attack, and they can attack very, very well. But it's almost like Dyche keeps the leash on them and says, play it safe. Like, I think I've heard you say this before. Don't take any risks and play for like a 1-0. Like, it's like, but when they do play, they're a good attacking team. It's like, because like a lot of people think of Burnley as being defensive minded, low block, make it really difficult for teams to play around them, typical Sean Dyche. But when they need to, they're more than capable of getting.
We are, but unfortunately,
goals.
he can't find that balance between attack and defense.
No, yeah, I know. It's almost like a game of FIFA where you've got all out defense and then all out attack, and there's no in between. It's really strange. It's really strange. Yeah,
it's frustrating to watch because it's almost as if when he just chooses to go all out attack, it's like our defenders don't know how to defend. They make silly mistakes. I remember last season Ben Mee conceding a stupid penalty, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why don't you just boot the ball out the field, hold off the player, something? But instead you conceded a penalty for no reason at all. It's very frustrating as an individual that watches it, where it's just like, why can't we just find that balance? Unfortunately, he can't. And I'm telling you now, next season, you watch the last 10 game weeks, it will be, and they're all green fixtures according to the ticker here. So from Crystal Palace, game week 27, we've got Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Brentford, Southampton, Man City. Man City, there we are at home. That's a 4-0 loss, 4-1 loss, sorry. Norwich, West Ham, Wolves, Watford. I could probably predict every single Burnley game right now, and I reckon within reason, I'd probably get close enough to what the results would be, because I know exactly what happens every year. It's just a pattern. There's the word. And
how many Burnley players are in your starting team?
One. Brownhill, because he's a guaranteed starter. He's not going to do anything, but he's guaranteed.
He's cheap.
4.5. What else is there in midfield?
I think it's very important that we say thank you to Nick Treadwell for becoming a grassroots member. Thank you ever so much, Nick.
Thought he was a member.
Yeah, I think he's just renewed it.
Yes. Quick thoughts again, Jason Sancho.
I think he's gonna set the Premier League on fire in that United team. I really do. And don't sleep on Sancho. But I think my advice would be, if you are planning on looking at United assets, I know money is a big thing. Money is a massive thing. Trying to get all these players in, especially if you've got Bruno Fernandes, you're going to have to probably choose between them. But what I will say is, Game Week 4 wildcard, ladies and gentlemen. That's what my plan is. And by that point, Sancho could be the next big thing. So get on that bandwagon.
That's an interesting one from Quarry256. Steve should do his predictions for Burnley, I'm assuming, and we can compare at the end of the season. That to be completely blunt with you, Quarry, that's more of a type of video I do for members only. So I may do a members only video and go through my thoughts on each match.
I'll do the score predictor. Play the score predictor whilst you do it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a good plug there. So next season, obviously, we'll be doing the score predictor game. I usually do very, very well. I would have come in. I think I just missed out on the top 10, or I got into the top 10. Don't
do what I did and forgot to enter your scores.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. Well, that's the point. I missed out on 1 week, and I worked out that if I'd have done that 1 week, I'd have ended up 8th or something like that. I can't remember now. But either way, Lino, I know Lino will be watching this. Lino is absolutely phenomenal. The score predictor game is a game which Semi-Sweet Potato. There it is. Semi-Sweet Potato releasing Friday the 30th of July with new improvements. So there we are. If you go to elitefpl.com, is that right, Jason?
Yeah.
So there we are. EliteFPL.com, Quarry. You can find out the score predictor game. Hello, it's Lewis Kirkby. Hello, Lewis Kirkby, aka I've forgotten his name. The guy, Rate My Takeaway. Did you see that? No disrespect. Load of rubbish.
What's this here? What's it? Bruno and Rafinha. I mean, I'm not going to normally answer these. Bruno and Rafinha or Mahrez and Son. Mahrez isn't going to guaranteed minutes. It's like you've got two players that are going to be playing game week in out. So yeah, straight off the bat, Bruno Rafinha for me. Steve-O?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the safety pick is that, and you make some. In fact, Buffy's just reminded me. Cheers, Buffy. And next season, Jace, I will be doing the old fantasy football bets. So for anybody that doesn't know, before the whole pandemic happened, I chose to do fantasy football bets, which essentially were putting money on popular picks for that specific game weeks, and also
who I brought in.
And do you know what? Yeah, but this is the thing, and also who Jason brought in, and it worked. It legitimately worked. So, if for instance, if Jason brought in Sterling, it'd be like, right, Sterling to score. That's it. That's all I'd do. Just put 50p on Sterling or a quid to put on Sterling to score. Of the however many bets I did, I pretty much just about broke even. I think I was just under breaking even. I think I put down about 35 quid worth of bets, and I got back about £33 something. So I was only just under.
Worth it then.
But the point being is, was stopping you from doing well, and it was genuinely worth it.
Yeah. It was like.
Lewis Kirby making the point about the fact excited for this season and for fans to be back in. It's going to make FPL so much more fun. Absolutely, and certainly making more things fun. It will be a case of next season, more and more content specifically for you members out there. I mean, Quarry, talking about like the score predictor game and stuff. There's a small possibility I may do something with members regarding score predictions. But, I would argue that you're better off I'd try and get Lino on. Lino is an incredible predictor.
He's got a time machine. He's got the almanac. Yeah. I was going to say, at some point during the season, there's going to be maybe 2 occasions where I'm going to do the Match of the Day challenge.
FPL Maestro, thrown straight in there. Straight in there. We need more Match of the Day challenges.
Wait, did someone just... Wait, that's really weird, because I said it and he typed that at the same time.
Yeah.
There's actually going to be 2. Yeah, I'm going to make time to do 2 weeks. I'm going to do a Match of the Day challenge. It'd be pretty cool if we did it together, Steve-O, but, see how it goes. I know that you're not a massive fan of doing it.
And it's pretty much nigh impossible as well, because I work every Sunday, so unfortunately.
If there's a blank game week or something, I might do it. It's like, not many games, honestly.
Yeah, Kwari saying member thing doesn't come up on the YouTube app. Really? Go to the website. Then I'm guessing it should be there next to the subscribe button. It says join, and then you just have the option to sign up. To
I think that some countries
like
as well. Some countries may not have it. I don't know. But that might be another reason behind it. But yeah, if you go to the,
we got a rivalry here. Rival here, Peter Scullion. Hello, mate. We'll be glad to not have games dragged out a week. Yeah, I think that Jason summed it up beautifully at the start. At the end of the day, this season is going to be a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be a lot more condensed, I suppose.
It's going to be more. It's going to be more emotional because I think that you're going to get information at shorter, like you're going to get more information at a faster pace. Whereas before we were just getting, oh, that game's finished. That's great. Let's go on to the next game. But the dynamic of the games are going to be more intricate. Like there's going to be more excitement because what's affected in one game is going to have a direct impact of what's going on in another game, and people's got like multiple players playing at the same time in their fantasy football teams. I personally love that. And I think that's where the excitement is really going to build up. And the main thing is the rivalries. They're going to be forming and it's going to be forging. Enemies are going to be like drawing their battle lines in Discord. Discords are gonna see quite a lot of new people over the coming weeks anyway. So the moderators and the new Discord members look forward to that. And yeah, I think we've pretty much been going for 2 hours now, so I haven't eaten any food and I'm absolutely starving. But what I will say is this is one of many streams that are going to be coming up over the next few weeks. Steve, when are we next going to be doing one? Because I will actually reveal my team, my first draft team in that one, and obviously we can touch on a few things there.
I think stay tuned on Twitter. I think is the best way because we can discuss privately. Christ Almighty, when that will be. Certainly very soon. Very soon, I would say.
Very, very soon.
Stay tuned on Twitter and Discord.
Massive things to take away very quickly for people just joining in. Mini league, there will not be a paid mini league or cash entry mini league. There will be a mini league. That mini league will be disseminated to people that we want to have involved in that mini league. So, like people have been with us for a long period of time that we've grown and forge strong relationships with. Talk about hardcore Elite FPL audience, you know. That's how we're planning to play it this year. The name of the mini league is yet to be decided, and there may or may not be generous rewards from the love of me and Steve-O, just as a thank you. But again, another thing as well, scheduling. Fridays and Wednesdays looking likely we're going to be doing streams regularly. So there you go. Cheers, guys. I need a cough, and every time you cough these days, everyone looks at you weird. It's not COVID. See you guys.
Cheers all. Take it easy. See you soon. Subscribe.